more than 10 years ago, you were a teenager. You would go to the Rock Gym. You were training at Hill Street in Long Beach. Every now and then you'd go to the gym in Carson. And Zurdo was training there with his former team. He'd walk in. And I remember Randy Robles telling me, Beto, eventually one day those two are going to get at it. I'm like, but man, they're not the same size. He goes, oh, they will be one day. I can't believe we're here at the cruiserweight division. But you hear them both talk about it. We've all seen the pictures of them sparring. And like sparring is sparring. But David, you knew eventually that one day this was going to happen. Why did you know it was going to happen?
Because he's a top fighter. He's a great fighter as well. And I just seen into the future. I was helping him get ready for Arthur Abraham. And we had some great sparring sessions. He was champion for a while. Then he went up to 175. Then he went up to cruiserweight. So I knew Zurdo was going to be one of those fighters that's going to be there for a long, long time. He's only had one loss against Bivol. So I knew eventually we're going to do this. I didn't think we were going to do it in cruiserweight. But shit, it's even better for me. I'm very excited. I think a fight at cruiserweight between me and Zurdo Ramirez is going to be, we're going to be able to showcase both of our talents. We're going to be able to show it. Like, we're not going to be wagering and nothing like that. So it's going to be an even better fight. So I'm very excited.
Why move up to cruiserweight?
Because there was nothing else for me at 175 right now. I could have sat down and waited on the sidelines and wait for Bivol to have his tune-up and then another fight. But like I said, I'm not interested in that. I've been professional 13 years. I've been wanting to get the biggest title, the biggest fights possible. I've been denied a couple times. This was the other biggest fight on the map. Zurdo accepted it like that. So big shout out to him. I'm just, like I said, I want to make my own lane. I want to achieve greatness, and this is the only way to do it.
So all those years of sparring, and you saw him when he was a teenager growing up. You might have said, okay, one day maybe, but did you think that this fight would happen?
I knew that it will happen eventually, and right now is the dream come true because all the sparring, all the session that we did, and we knew each other. We knew that one day we will fight, and this is the right moment, like he said, because 200 will not be a cutting weight or nothing. It be like natural, like those days in sparring.
One thing about it, as Oscar's talked about, Samson's talked about, the Cinco de Mayo weekend is special. I know, David, for you, you want to have that legacy. But there's something special about fighting that weekend. How important is it for you to put on that show?
It's very important for me because, for the whole history of the Cinco de Mayo fights, it's been tremendous fighters like Oscar, Julio Cesar Chavez, putting on great fights. Not only just great fights, there were wars because there were paired up fights. They didn't take no easy fights. So I think this is symbolically, this is what it symbolizes. May 5th symbolizes two warriors, and now it's even more special because it's two Mexican warriors going at it for a title. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm at the cusp of taking the face of boxing, and Zurdo Ramirez, he's if he beats me, his stock goes up. So there's greatness on the other side of that tunnel for both of us. So we're going to come extremely prepared.
Zurdo, for you, fighting that week, you fought all over the world. You've had some big fights, but this one is special because it's fighting David Benavidez, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the monster. Before I call him the different, el asesino, because I saw him when he sparred different guys. He beat him all the time, and I was like, okay, it be a good fight eventually one day. And right now, at the May 5th, La Batalla de Puebla, two warriors, we're making history.
Oscar, we see it in the current state of boxing right now, and in the past was nobody wanted to cross the street. Nobody wanted to work with other promoters. You wanted to keep it in-house. Now you thank Dal Heyman, you thank Tom, you thank Samson. And it's better if promoters work together. Why was it important for you to make sure this happens?
No, that's what Golden Boy has always been about, is working with other promoters, and right from the start. And like I said, I've worked with Bob, I've worked with Al, I've worked with everybody in the game to make the best fights happen. And one thing that I'm really proud of, I believe this is a first for Golden Boy, is the fact that we're going to be on Prime. I mean, that's going to be something really, really special. Have you seen Prime's production? Yeah. Prime's production is probably the best production in boxing today. It's incredible. It's amazing when you watch Prime and you're watching these great fights that TGB put together and that Samson put together and Al Heyman and PBC. You know, I'm watching those fights and I'm intrigued by the production, the value of the production. That's one thing. But this fight here on May 2nd, look, there's no trash talking. There's no pushing and this and that. No, they're going to do that inside the ring. Mark my words. And guys, don't forget about the pressure. But the pressure to fight hard. That's why I love Cinco de Mayo weekend, because every fighter that fights on Cinco de Mayo, they know they have to fight hard. They know that the fans are expecting a war inside the ring, and you couldn't have two better guys than Zurdo and Benavidez.
Well, when you're throwing that fight party, you're going to get mad. The dealers are going to get mad if nobody's fighting, right? And that'll be May 2nd, a PBC pay-per-view event available on Prime Video. For David, this is a fight between two fighters that have a lot of respect for each other. You guys known each other for a while. You don't, first, neither of you are trash talkers. You're very honest with the public. You're honest with the media. But when you get into the ring, obviously it's different. Why do you have an advantage on May 2nd?
Well, I mean, I could say I have an advantage. Zurdo's going to say he has an advantage over me, but I'm just going to say how it is. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to leave everything on the ring. I'm training extremely hard. My conditioning, my stamina, everything. You know, I'm not leaving nothing to the side. I'm making sure I'm working even harder and putting extra reps in anything and everything I do this camp. And that's just the way I fight. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave everything out on the ring. You know, I don't want to just. I want to earn, you know, the fans' respect, and I want to go in there and put on a great fight. And I want to leave all the fans amazed by when they leave that fight. I want them to be. You know, I want them to be amazed at the fight, the whole card, and the whole event. You know, that's what we're going for. We're going to leave everything on the ring.
Samson, you saw this young man and you signed him. What did you see about him when you said, I want him to work with me?
Well, in this case, it was not really only me. He went to spar in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and I have the Jackson brothers. And he beat the shit out of him. So Tony from Virgin Islands said, listen, we need to take this kid. I say, look, I know you for so long, but I have trust on you. I used to do a lot in the Virgin Islands. So I spoke with Jose, and we come to an agreement, but I never saw him before. But in the first time, then I make my, you know, I work my secret, how to get the best. And until now, I believe I didn't make a mistake, because the first fight, it was in Showtime. I say that we have a future champion in 168, and I promised to him that he'd be the youngest one. Now, in the beginning of his career, in the first fight, told me, let's do it 175 pounds. You remember?
It was 180.
180.
I told you 180.
So he came, he called me up, he said, the lawyer, our friend David Garcia, he said, can we make the fight 185? I said, no, I just canceled the show. I just canceled the fight. You need to come and do whatever you agree with. He come less of that. And I believe that is the reason that he followed my lead for so many years, that he be almost 10 years together. And he went to 168. He said, no, 75. I can go to 60. I know that. And I'm so proud of him and the father and the whole family, because we accomplished so much in such short time that I'm so proud and hope that it will continue forever.
Every fighter has a journey. It's a great story there, Samson, finding where he's at. For you, Zurdo, when you came from Sinaloa, you were with a different team. You connected with Brickhouse and Julian Chua. They've made you a champion. Why is this bond that you have so special?
Because it's May 5th, La Batalla de Puebla, and two warriors. I mean, I just want to be my own too. I want to be the best, and I want to fight with the best. I know he's one of the best, and I just want to give to really exciting fight to those people that they love this sport like me, boxing, and I just want to fight him because he's the best, and that's what I gained to in this sport because I try to recognize myself to be the best, and then I had to fight with the best.
And the belts stay with you?
Yes, stay with me.
You're taking the belts?
They're coming home with me.
They're going with Benavidez or they're going with Zurdo. Let's get a face-off between these two. Round of applause for David and Monstro Benavidez and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. We'll do the face-off here. Play, medias keep down because we got cameras behind you guys.